by Goddard. So some of you might recognize that big pretty picture up there. That's the new James Webb Space Telescope. So a lot of people consider it the next Hubble, the next big space telescope. One of the most exciting things about this is that it's designed to see the universe's first ever galaxies. So as of now, no human has ever seen that. We've never been able to look that far back into time. But the further back you look into space, the further back you're looking quite literally in time. And so this telescope is designed to see far enough back to find the first galaxies ever created in our universe. And so this is it being built at the clean room at Goddard. And you can see the small people down there and what they call bunny suits in the clean room. And to give you a better image of that, here are two of the scientists with a test mirror from the James Webb. And what you're seeing there is a cleaning process using a jet of carbon dioxide snow. So that's how they're cleaning their test mirrors. My job there, actually, though, has to do with something much closer to home, which is our sun. So I'm a NASA space weather forecaster. So just like you have weather forecasters for the news that you watch that tell you about the horrible weather that ruins our rooftop plans, I also need people to tell you about what's going on with the sun. So essentially, it's a job of solar babysitting. So I check in on the sun, see how it's doing, see if there's any activity, and hopefully nothing like this is happening. But sometimes it does. So this is a picture of a real eruption. We call it a filament eruption, where filament is referring to a strand of dark, cool plasma hovering above the surface of the sun. So every once in a while, these strands or filaments erupt in big, beautiful eruptions that you see here. And you can notice the Earth to scale size-wise gives you an idea of just what kind of events we're talking about. And to actually play through here, I have a quick video of what that eruption looks like, so you can get an idea of what it looked like when you're on the sun. Yeah, so really big, really beautiful. And so what this can create is a bubble of plasma that then can propagate throughout the entire solar system and sometimes beyond. So my job has to do with watching for any of these activities and then modeling what the consequences might be. So this can create something we call a coronal mass ejection, or CME. It's coronal because it's in the sun's outer atmosphere called the corona, and it's a mass ejection because it's quite literally a large amount of mass being shot off from the sun and going through our solar system. So these coronal mass ejections can go through the solar system and have the potential to cause issues with NASA's satellites. So my job, the main purpose of it is to protect our satellites and all of our robotics missions, because they can be affected by the electronics can be affected by the magnetic field embedded in these giant plasma bubbles, these CMEs. So that's part of what I work on there. However, it's important to keep in mind that there are a lot of other implications of space weather activity. For example, our astronauts need to know about this because they're at higher exposure, higher up. Similarly, high altitude pilots care about how much exposure they have to space weather activity. And when it comes to here on the ground, we're protected by our magnetic field. However, we can still have issues. For example, power grid outages can occur when there's a lot of extreme activity. The most notable occurrence of this was probably back in 1989. All of Quebec went dark because of a solar storm. So if we don't have people at NASA watching the sun, we would have no idea why this is happening. So we have to keep track of what's going on our sun. And here is an image of one of those models I was talking about. So this is if we were looking at the solar system from the top down. In the center there, you have the sun, and to its right, that little yellow circle, that's us, planet Earth. And this giant blue bubble is that coronal